Hi everybody, this is Ed from Demon Speed Motorsports, here to give you a video, a part of our lab coat series. Now in this video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to take a look at the tire warmers that you see behind me. I've got two stacks, same size, same tires, same everything, same wheels, stacked up with two different sets of tire warmers. What we have running outside is a 3200 watt Predator Harbor Freight generator, hooked up to a couple of extension cords, hooked up to a duplex cord, plugged into this set of tire warmers. And this stack, which is exactly the same size as I mentioned, that are hooked up to exactly the same controllers. They're all the high-powered controllers for both sets. This set is going to be plugged directly into the wall. What I'm looking to show everybody is how the fewer connections that you can make and the direct to power that you can have, the better off your tires are. The reason why we started looking at this is because we were out at the track a little bit ago, and we had the tires plugged into the trailer was hooked up to the generator, the tire warmers were actually into a duplex plug, into an extension cord, into the trailer, and we weren't seeing the kind of temps out of the tires that we wanted to see. So what we did was we unplugged the generator out of the trailer, dragged it over right in front of the car, plugged both sets of tire warmers, controllers right into the generator, and the temperature shot up right away. So that's what we're looking to see here is the difference between a cord with an extension cord with a generator versus the cords directly into the wall, and to show you that the less resistance that you have, getting your tire warmers plugged into the wall, the faster they'll heat up and the higher they'll heat up. So let's go ahead and get this party started. I'm going to go outside. The generator is already running outside. Plug in this set, then I'll come in and plug in this set. Okay, now I've got both sets plugged in, and they're running, and I just set the timer. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back in a period of time. I'm not sure what that time is going to be. I'm going to keep an eye on how the temperatures are doing, and we'll come back when we see something significant so that we can talk about it together. All right, thank you. Okay, here we are, back. 65 minutes later. Now what we usually say when folks say, hey, how long should we have these plugged in before we go out on track, we always say an hour, right? And that really depends on the weather conditions, if this is the first time you've been out on track for the day, and a lot of other things that we can't predict. So this is a pretty controlled environment. We have the tires stacked up in a stack, which they're heating as well as tires are going to heat because you don't have air blowing through the center cooling them off or anything like that. The temperature inside the room here is about 70 degrees. So fairly ideal conditions. So an hour and 5 minutes later, we've got this stack of tires, remember, that are plugged directly into the outlet, and you've got the fronts that are, one of them's at 201 and one of them's at 208, and then the rears, one of them's at 175 and 166. And they're still climbing, right? So we leave them on, they'll still get up to a higher temperature. So the longer you can put them on, the better you are. So this stack of tires, which is being powered by the generator outside through a couple of extension cords and a duplex cord, are not doing as well. So you can see 73, 173, 180, 161, 162. Now this kind of goes along with what we saw when we were at the track a little bit ago. The set of tires that are plugged directly into the wall that are getting cleaner power, you're averaging about 185 degrees per tire. And over here, this stack of tires, you're more like 170 degrees. And these are pretty static, right? We haven't seen these climb in the last 5 or 10 minutes at all. They gotten to this point, and they've reached where they're going to reach with the setup that we've got on this. So what we're recommending, let me grab this here, is we've got extension cord here. So this is only 25 feet. Only go 25 feet. Don't go longer than that. That creates more resistance. And you know, it has the duplex plug right on it, so you don't have a separate duplex plug to be able to, you know, plug in more than one tire warmer on. You know, ideally you'd have 2 extension cords, one for each tire warmer, so they wouldn't be trying to both get the same power through the same gauge wire. This is a pretty good gauge cord. It's a 12 gauge cord, so the lower you go, the better it is. So if you got a 14 gauge cord or a 16 gauge cord, those are pretty light duty. The 12 is about as small of a gauge as you want to go. So I hope that you're happy with what you've seen here. This has been a great experiment, and appreciate your time. Thank you. All right, everybody, a little bit of bonus footage. Didn't expect that, did you? Better watch all the videos, make sure there isn't any other bonus footage going on. So we're at 90 minutes, hour and a half. So what we've got over here on this side is the fronts are reading 206, 202, and what's happening there is that they're bouncing off of the 110. So for about the last 15 minutes, it's gotten to 110, turned off, and then they faded back down to about 102, and then they came back on, heated back up to 110, 210 again. The the rear's still at 174, 188. Over here on this side, this is the interesting side. This is what happened over here is that I went ahead, and the reason why the door is open is a little bit louder. You can hear the generator. You can see a little bit of the generator. I took all the extension cords out of the scenario, and I plugged it directly into the generator, just like we said we did at the track, to see how it would do, to see if we'd be able to pick up some ground on the set that's plugged directly into the wall. And we really have, right? So you're seeing 195, 187, 177, 176, and they're still climbing, right? So don't forget, when I'm talking about clean power and having a direct connection to the power source, you know, even this set that's plugged into the wall, it still goes through wire that's run all through the building and then go over there, distribution block, right? So you're still getting resistance there as well. So the generator powering these right now might, right into the generator, is probably getting some cleaner power than this set that's actually plugged into the wall. Hard to say. You know, what we could do is we could let these run for another hour and see where they'd end up, see if this one would actually max out with all of them up and around 210. But I think that's going to be it. You can check, but I don't think there's going to be another bonus footage on this one. This is going to be it for this video. Appreciate you taking the time, spending the time with us, taking a look at this with us. Stay tuned for more videos in the lab coat editions, and we'll do some more crazy science experiments together. Thanks a lot.